gentlemen, welcome to Kota Kinabalu. The local time is 6 minutes past 2 in the afternoon.
Hey guys, so this is the first time we are here in Kota Kinabalu.
Very hot here. So this is the international airport. Looks very simple.
We'll break the video into two parts. First will be where to go, what to eat, and then the second will be more detail about climbing Mount Kinabalu. Generally, we book Grab wherever we go, so the Grab here are pretty affordable. The highest one we see is 19 ringgit. So you will see the slum is just built beside a 4-star hotel, where you can see the huge difference between the rich and the poverty. The road condition in Sabah is pretty interesting. The road is never flat, so you always get a very bumpy ride no matter where you are, in the highway or in the city. I'm also quite surprised we noticed that there are very little motorcycle on the roads as compared to East Malaysia.
The air is pretty hazy.
At the lower altitude within the city. So we came to this Imago shopping mall. The mall is pretty big and clean. So I can tell that it's not a very local mall because all the brands inside are slightly more premium and you can see a lot of tourists inside the mall. We came to check out this Tanjong Aru beach, which is really beautiful, and the sand on the beach are really fine, and of course the stunning sunset view. So next stop we came to Gaya Street. It's a very old town. It's a tourist town where you can find souvenirs and tourist items here. We were recommended to come to this local fish noodle store where they have fish soup noodle and also tom yum soup. The tom yum option tastes better and also it comes with dry noodles. Old town. So we went to try local style breakfast.
So everything here is self-service. You grab a plate and then you ask for what you want.
If the item is by per scoop, regardless of how big scoop it is, it's still charged as one serving. Where's the top half of the chicken?
Okay, so everything is self-service here. So
the kaya there has a stronger coconut taste, which tastes good. Next up, we came to this bakery, which is famous for their po lo bao pineapple bun. The bun is a little bit disappointing because it looks very different from what you see on the internet. Sabah is also famous for their seafood, so hitting to a seafood restaurant is a must. So we came to this Sasa restaurant where they serve live seafood. It's really popular in the local community and their food are not bad too. The next seafood restaurant we tried is called Welcome Seafood, which was strongly recommended by a few of our friends. They have slightly more variety to choose from, and we can tell that it's a very tourist restaurant.
it's a very big prawn.
Where you can see almost all the diners are tourists, but nevertheless it's still a very decent and good restaurant. So next we came to this Lintus Plaza area. We found some local bakeries, so they have a lot of fresh pastry. This is a char siew bao, slightly different from my understanding, but still tastes good. We also found this Nanyang coffee shop which serves butter coffee, really strong and aromatic. This is the kind of coffee that we are used to. Side note, most of the Sabah coffee are very bland. This is their local flavor. So next up we went to try out this local pork noodle. The pork are really tender. The star of the show will be the noodle covered full with pork lard. Really fragrant, really nice. We also tried the century egg dumpling. We went to the Ramadan Bazaar since it's to check out some night snacks, street food. We had bought some goreng pisang with cheese on top of it. It's something really interesting. There are also other stores like clothing store, seafood store, fruit stores, fruit juices, and many more, even live bands. We met a hiking friend there who introduced us this Bang Bang Can. Next we head out to hunt for that speakeasy hidden style Ramly burger store. It's actually located in a house in some kampong area where they no longer sell Ramly burger anymore. They are selling gourmet burgers now. They have this really thin cut fries and we ordered a double patty which is enormous. Next, we visited a local chain store where they serve very Southeast Asia breakfast and coffee. We ordered the whole kasai, coffee plus chocolate. As usual, the coffee is a little bit bland but full of chocolate taste. We also went to this Decrypt Coffee where they sell specialty coffee. It was recommended by the guide. So after coffee, we went to try out this thing called the tuaran mee, which is a very local dish. It is a very springy noodle. It comes in clay pot as well. So the noodle is very flavorful. Personally, I preferred the dry one. Since we have time on our hands, so we went around the neighborhood and found this very interesting coffee shop where they serve coffee in beer bottle. Since Sabah is famous for its seafood, so we went to this frozen food supply area to get some fresh seafood back to Singapore. So all their seafood looks pretty fresh and really big in terms of sizes. So you can see the fish can cover my whole face and head. So the dry item section is just next door after all the fridges. So you can buy your dry souvenir, all the snacks here. Pepper from Sarawak. Sea cucumber soup. The staff will pack all your frozen seafood nicely in the newspaper. If you find that the fish is too big, you can ask them to cut it into smaller sizes and then pack into the carton box, which can be kept frozen for around 8 to 10 hours. So they can deliver to the airport for you. So all you need to do is just fill in this form. So we are here on boarding the bus. Based on our understanding, the Mount KK trip has to be a guided tour, so you have to book through a tour agent. They will basically arrange everything for you, pick you up with a bus and then stop you midway through for grocery resupply. Also a stopover for the local wild boar meat. So this is just my skeptical guess. I don't think every day there will be wild boar available, so probably this will be a domestic pig. They also sell other homemade products like their chili and their own fried pork skin. You will see busload after busload of tourists heading to buy this barbecue wild boar meat. We also bought the leaf-covered steamed rice, pretty much normal rice. It comes with two sauces, the black is sweet and the brown is spicy. Then we continue the journey with a multiple twists and turns up the mountain. Pretty choppy ride as a passenger. Okay, so here is 1,500 meters above sea level. This will be the place that we will stay overnight to allow your body to have some time to acclimatize to the condition like the altitude and the temperature. Before the start of everything, you have to sign two forms, which is the indemnity form and some personal information and health detail forms. The hostel is located within the foot of the mountain. It's pretty cool and it turns foggy pretty quickly during the evening. After the 3-hour bus ride, the form filled up, checked in, so now dinner is ready. We can eat dinner before the briefing. So we will brief what will be happening tomorrow and what to bring up during the hike and a little bit about the history.
阿 Key 呢是在那个凯达山的语言里面是祖先，然后拿巴路是山的意思，所以阿 Key 拿巴路的意思就是祖先所在的山。Kina 是中文，然后所以像中国寡妇，然后呢是之前是有一个传说是这样讲的，就是。
Okay, this is 6 a.m. in the morning, very foggy.
And it's pretty cold too. I reckon it's around 9-10 degrees somewhere there. And breakfast is provided. So we ate the breakfast, we pack our bag before we head up to the bus that will send us to the Mount Kinabalu headquarter office where we will offload from the buses and also bring our belonging along to gather in front of the office. So the mountain guides will take care of all the registration and all the passes necessary. All we have to do is just wait outside, enjoy the scenery, chit chat, So once the pass is ready, you will be handed over a pass, a very individual one with your name and some tag number on it. If you need help carrying your bag up to the mountain, you can actually pass them to the porter. They will weigh in and charge you accordingly. After all the administrative are done, we will board a bus again, and then the bus will bring us up. Along the way, you will see many wildlife photographers trying to hunt for any wildlife around the area and get a really nice shot.
time record 这个是之前2016年的 Kinabalu 的时候，你看第一名、第二名。
You can see all the porters getting ready with the bags.
这边的本地人里面
才可以做，所以你就不会看到好像很多华人面孔啊，或印度人都是他们本地人。
The actual altitude at the start off point is around 1,800 meters. Once again, we gather in front of the signage and the map to have our last briefing before we kickstart.
Music handphone kamu. Tapi kamu dengar lembunya sendirilah, oke? Jangan kasih kuat. Kadang-kadang ada pelancong lain dia akan marah. Speaker.
Legs. 4。
绑着
一起
边背的，我还有一个架子，全部装在上。
绑着一起。
Once you have checked in with this attendant list, you are ready to move off. The hike started off with a downhill slope. This will be a very memorable downhill slope. From the get-go, there will be quite a few number of sightseeing items like a waterfall, metal bridge, etc., etc. The gradient is pretty flat. It's very easy to walk. Everything is quite stable and flat.
到了0.5。
And then you will meet some gradual steps, pretty easy and manageable. And even the gravel roads are pretty stable, hard. In no time, you will reach the first hut, which is a rest stop.
松树。
You see a lot of these squirrels around the hut, irregardless of altitude. So if you miss one, probably you can see them at the next one again. Just take note that this squirrel might come and steal your food inside your bag.
2039。
As we move on to the second kilometer, we realize that the steps is getting taller and taller. So some of them are really high up where you have to really lift your legs really high to pass through them. When you arrive to the second hut, your altitude is around 2,000 meters. Toilets are available in all the huts. They are pretty clean. Along the way, you will still enjoy some flat land, some wooden staircase, which is not too difficult to climb, and a canyon-like valley where you can pass through and take some photo ops. Once you pass the 1.5 kilometer mark, you will see more vertical steps, more intense, lesser flat.
You are already 1/3 of the way. That's the good news. The bad news is you got 2/3 to go.
So around 10:30, you will reach around 2 kilometer mark and you can start to see the fog in the trail.
Electricity line. Just be careful, don't touch them.
There will be a little bit of downhill again, but not too much. And you can see that the terrain is getting a little bit rougher, so lesser flat.
More Z forest.
You will start to see more moss around the rock and all the edges. And the small rocks are pretty loose on the ground, so you just need to take note on your footing. The walking path has also been narrower as compared. Some of them are really tight. After the third hut, you will reach around 3.5 kilometers where you start seeing people hiking down. The terrain remains very similar, so still a lot of steps going up and also loose gravel. But this time around, you can chat with people coming down.
It's worth it.
Very worth it.
Good job.
Then the path gets steeper, you get lesser steps. And at part, the forest get denser and foggier. So on the way, remember to give way to portals moving up and down. Around 3 hours into the hike, you will reach the fourth hut, which has the largest holding area. So we will stay there and have our lunch before we move on. So this is where we will start seeing people being carried down from the top. So from the 4th kilometer mark, the terrain actually gets more difficult The rocks are covered with soil and the rocks are pretty huge and irregular. At the same time, you'll meet more people coming down from the top, so you really have to pay attention finding your footing. While you're on the way up, you will see even more people being carried down, mainly due to injuries, and the more serious one will be stretchered down as they might be too weak to move or even stay conscious. These are the only few flats, and then you will meet a lot of vertical climb with the help of the ropes. You can also clearly feel that the temperature has dropped and the vegetation around has also some changes to it. Unfortunately, I experienced a leg cramp due to the drop of temperature. After the quick fix, we are ready to go and continue to push on. After you hit the 5-kilometer mark, 1 more kilometer to go. However, this 1 kilometer is really the tough one. Along the way, you will see all this countdown signboard from 800 meter, 700 meter, almost every 100 meter you will see one. However, the terrain is really tough. It's really irregular. It has a lot of spacing, loose rocks here and there. Probably you are already weakened through the last 5 kilometers walk. The last kilometer seems to be so tough, and you also kind of run out of energy. Along the way, the mountain guides are very encouraging. They keep on encourage you to move forward. So after 6 hours, you will reach the helipad. Almost 3 p.m. 3 p.m. So from that helipad, probably you get another 100 meter more before you reach to the hostel. You are required to check in before you can enter the room and choose a bed to rest on. So it's a shared bunk, probably like 10 to 15 people. It comes with a kitchen and also cups for your drinks. The water are pretty cold, and it comes with a shared toilet where it's not advisable to shower because of the cold water, like really cold water. So means there's a lot of people did that before. If you have some spare time and energy, you can check out the highest mailbox in Malaysia, which requires another few steps of climb in order to reach to the upper hut. Here you can buy a postcard and also a stamp from them. And to my surprise, the international postage is $1 irregardless of where you send to. If you want to save energy and time, you can actually drop by while you are heading down after the summit climb. We will head to the restaurant around 4:30 where the dinner is served. For stickers here. So you will see a lot of merchandise being sold here, a lot of equipment needed for the hike and some snacks. The second level is where the hostel and toilet are.
You may consider your ID tag as your ticket for you to get your meals. Without your ID tag, you will not be able to get your meals.
So the mountain can hold up to 167 people a day, and this is the only restaurant.
它是有味道吧，不是很搞的那种。
Add-ons are really expensive, 13 ringgit for a Coke.
回去房间一个上厕所。
At the restaurant balcony, you can enjoy sunset during 6 to 6:30, but however, the fog just suddenly came and ruined the whole plan. After the briefing ended around 7:30, you will be able to go back and get some rest. It's pretty hard to sleep because it's cold, it's noisy, it's too unfamiliar. So after 5 hours of lying down, we decided to check out the stars outside.
You can't really see here. It's the sky full of stars. So if you can't sleep at night, you can come out and enjoy all the stars. So now it's 1 a.m. We are here in the restaurant again to eat our breakfast. So-called breakfast. So it's breakfast time.
I personally find that the breakfast is pretty good and nice to eat.
So 800 meter, dia steep.
After breakfast, we head back to the bunk and wait for our 2 a.m. briefing. After the briefing is done, we will move off to the summit trail around 2:30 a.m. The trail is pretty pitch black, so you are required to have a headlamp. That is very essential, and some warm clothes and gloves because it will be very cold out here in the wee hours. Unlike the initial phase, this will be a very slow pace as everyone is queuing up in a straight line and the path is really small. Everything is so dark. It will be really dangerous if you misfoot yourself or slip and fell off. When you turn your head back, you can see that the climb is really steep and vertical up.
You can see the stars, but I don't think the camera can capture them. See, whole line of people to like go up to the summit.
The little light from far away is where we were sleeping last night. The rocks here are pretty loose as well, so you really have to be very careful in every steps. As we move upwards, the climb gets more and more challenging, and you can feel that the air is getting thinner.
So near yet so far. We go to that peak with the light there.
As we approach the stairs has pretty huge gap and is on the edge of the cliff.
This is the part where you need to hold on to the rope.
At this stage, it might involve your hands to aid you in climbing as well, as the instruction given is not to deviate too far away from the rope.
Everyone is heading up. 7k. Okay, finally we see the hut.
There are a lot of loose rocks and big gaps along the way to the last checkpoint, which is the Sayed hut.
Toilet.
In order to get certified, you have to pass through this checkpoint.
Lucky with the weather, but not so lucky
Thank
with
you.
water.
We are walking up the mountain. There's a lot of stars here. So it looks like you are walking towards the galaxy. No way the camera can see it. Oh, here are stars. I think at least a few hundred of them.
It's getting steeper, colder, and windier. Although we can see the sign of the sunrise, but it's too cold, so we hide behind a big rock. But you will still see lines of people, just like an ant, keep pushing forward to the summit. So it motivated us to push forward a little bit more to the 8 kilometer mark.
Peak is there. Too cold, too tired. We leave to fight another day. 8 kilometer downhill.
So if you manage to get to the peak, you will get a photo like this. So on the south peak, you will see another attraction which can be found on the $100 Malaysia note.
Okay, really nice sunrise. But heading down is a bit difficult. So you have to walk sideways.
We knew that our pace would be slower, so we decided to move out earlier, just to be very sure that we will meet the targeted time to exit out from the mountain.
Okay, back to the hut.
You're required to check out from the hostel at 10:30 a.m. and reach the start point by 4:30 p.m.
这也有松鼠诶。Hello. So that's where our destination is, all the houses there.
If you couldn't meet that timing, there will be some extra charges involved.
So all these wooden planks, they're very sleepy. During the morning dew. So we need to be very careful.
Late checkouts, mountain guide and buses over time.
So here is breakfast. Going down. So heading back down 6 kilometers. Toughest part of the journey. Let's see what time we will reach. Now it's 9:06. So 1 hour 42 minutes, 4.5 kilometers to go. 破洞了嘞。Okay, 3.5 to go. Almost 2 hours 44 minutes.
So this hiking stick is really useful when you are heading downhill. It helps you to release some impact when you are heading down the steps and also aid you in getting a very stable foothold.
And then welcome back. Okay, finally here. Welcome back. You are a successful climber. You're not there yet. Still a few flight of steps. Go to the booth and check in. And we're done. Okay, thank you. Now we walk out, wait for the bus. It's 14:04. So we took 5 hours to clear. The bus is here waiting to ferry us back to the HQ. So back to the HQ center. Hope we will never meet again. 看见到 driver 那么开心过。Heading back to the hostel. So if you arrive early back to the hostel, you get to shower. Then there will be a certification ceremony. So either the colored one that you completed or the grayscale one that you did not complete. You will start losing feelings on your legs. So the best thing to do is to go for a massage. However, there's no miracle. So your leg will be retarded for the next few days. Alright guys, that will be the end for this Mount KK video. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.